everyone, let's get started. In this, you will learn about Python file operations. More specifically, opening a file, reading from it, writing into it, closing it, and various file methods you should be aware of. So, first of all, what is a file? A file is a named location on disk to store related information. It is used to permanently store data in a non-volatile memory like hard disk. Since the random access memory is volatile, which loses its data when computer is turned off, we use files for future use of the data. So when we want to read from or write to a file, we need to open it first. When we are done, it needs to be closed so that the resources that are tied with the file are freed. Hence, in Python, the file operations takes place in the following order. First one, opening a file. Second one, performing operations like reading, writing, appending, etc. Third one, closing a file. So let's have a look at the first one, opening a file. Python has a built-in function called open to open a file. This function will return a file object, also called a handle, as it is used to read or modify the file accordingly. In this first case, we just pass the name of the file test.txt as a string to the function open, and to do so, we should be in the same directory where the test.txt resides. And in the second case, we specified the full path to readme.txt. In this case, we need not be in the same directory where readme.txt resides. Then we can specify the mode while opening the file also. In mode, we specify whether we want to read, write or append to a file. We also specify if we want to open the file in the text mode or in binary mode. So let's have a look at the modes. These are the modes that are supported by Python. R is for reading, and reading in text mode is the default mode here, and this mode we get strings when reading from the file. On the other hand, in the binary mode, the mode will return bytes, and this is the mode to be used when dealing with non-text files like images. So W stands for writing, and this will create a new file if the mentioned file does not exist, or it will truncate the file if the name exists. Then X stands for exclusive creation. If the file already exists, the operation fails. And A stands for opening file for appending at the end of the file without truncating it, and this also will create a new file if the name does not exist. And T is the default text mode, and B stands for the binary mode. When we are dealing with images or videos, we have to use this binary mode, and this plus sign is used for combining more than one modes like reading and writing, or writing in binary, like that. Then unlike other languages, the character A here does not imply the number 97 until it is encoded using ASCII or other equivalent encodings. Moreover, the default encoding is platform dependent. In Windows, it is CP1252, but in Linux, it is UTF-8, like this. So we must not also rely on the default encoding, or else our code will behave differently in different platforms. Hence, when working with files in text mode, it is highly recommended to specify the encoding type like this. Since we are using Linux, we are using the encoding type UTF-8, and here we just open the file in read mode with encoding UTF-8. So just do have a look at other examples also. In the first case, we just opened the test.txt in the default mode, which is reading in text mode. And the second case, we just supplied w so that we can write in text mode. And the third case, we are opening an image called image.bmp in reading plus binary mode. So when we are done with the operations to the file, we need to properly close it. Closing a file will free up the resources that were tied with the file, and it is done using the close method like here. Even though Python has a garbage collector to clean up the unreferenced objects, but we must not rely on it to close the file. So here we just open the test.txt in the default mode with encoding UTF-8, and we will perform some file operations here, and after that we have to close it by calling f.close. Then this method is not entirely safe. If an exception occurs when we are performing some file operations with the file, then the code exits without closing the file. So a safer way is to use the try finally block. In try, we are trying to open this test.txt with encoding UTF-8, and we will perform some operations here, and in the finally we are closing it by calling f.close. So this method, we are guaranteed that the file is properly closed even an exception occurs here, causing the program flow to stop. The best way to do this is using with statement like here. This ensures that the file is closed when the block inside this with statement is exited. We don't need to explicitly call the close method since it is done internally. So I strongly recommend to use with open like here to do the operations with files. So that's all for now. All the operations related to file like reading from file, appending to it, writing to it will be handled in the upcoming videos. So keep watching. Thank you.
Welcome to the Python tutorial. Today we are going to learn file handling in Python, which means that how to create a file using Python script and how to write some data in text file using Python script. So now let's move to the first topic, which is how to create a text file using Python script. So here I just open up Python script. So here just click file, click new file, and here we have a new Python script. Just save this script in desktop and named which is file.py. So here you can see there is a script which is file.py, and now I'm going to create a text file using Python script. So just write a variable which is file. You can give any name to this variable. After that, just write a function which is open, and inside the open function you have to pass some parameter. So the first parameter is the name of the file, which is python.txt. You can give any name to this file, and after that we have to put a format of the file which is text file, and after the parameter just put a comma, and after the comma we have to put a mode. So there are 4 or 5 modes. So the first mode is a read mode, which is used to read the file. The second one is a write mode, which is used to write the file, and the third one is a append mode. So append is used to add data in our existing file. So here I'm going to use a write mode to create a text file. So here I just put w, and after the w I have to put a plus sign. So this plus sign indicates that if there is a file in your path, so just use those files to write something, and if there is no file in the path, then just create a file which named is python.txt. So here I'm going to use a w plus. If we remove this plus sign, so this w means we want to use a file which is already exist in the path, and after that we want to write something in the file. So now let's put plus here, And now let's run this module. I think this is a syntax error. This is also a string. So here we did not get any error. Just move to the desktop. So here you can see there is a text file whose name is python.txt, and inside the text file there is no data. So this is the process to create a file using Python script.
Hi everyone, now let's have a look at reading from a file. To read the content of a file, we must open the file in read mode. There are various methods available for this purpose. We can use the read with size method or just a read method or any other methods we will be discussing in this session later to do this. So in the first case, the read with size method, we are reading up to the size of the size parameter mentioned, and it will return up to that size of data to us. And if the size parameter is not specified, it reads and returns up to the end of the file. So let's go to the terminal, and since I have changed some of the lines in my test.txt which we saved previously, I just want to cat through that. Cat test.txt. I just changed the second line to second line and third line to third line, and removed the fourth line. In order to do something with the read operations with the files, we just want to go to the Python console and now just open the file in read mode. For that, f equal to open within quotes test.txt comma the method read. Now I just want to pass the size parameter with read, f.read 5 for the first time, and this will return up to the fifth character. 1 2 3 4 5, fifth character is O, up to O. And if I did it again, then it will return from the blank line and 1 2 3 4 up to the L. And now I just want to get rid of this size parameter, sorry. Then it will return up to the end of the file. So now I just want to know the current file position. For that, I just want to write f.tell. This will return the current file position. Now it is at the end of the file, which is 38. If I just want to bring the file cursor to the initial position, I can do f.seek, and inside that 0. And if I will ask to tell the current file position, this will return 0. And to read the entire file at once, we want to print f.read, and this will read the entire file. We can read a file line by line using a for loop. This is both efficient and fast. So in order to do that, we just go to the initial position and we are looping it for line in F. Starts indentation here. Just type print line. Press enter again. This will return line by line up to the end of the file. Then we can use read line, the other method, to read individual lines of a file. This method reads a file till the new line, including the new line character. So in order to do that, let's go to the initial position again and f dot read line, and this returned the first line. If it do it again, second line, do it again, then third line. And if you want to get all of a sudden, then we can do f dot read lines instead of f dot read line. Now we are at the end of the file, so that it returned an empty list. And in order to see what happens, just seek to the 0, and now just do it again, and this will return a list with all the lines. So that's all about read method in Python. So the other methods will be discussed in the other videos. So keep watching. Thank you.
In this video, we are going to learn how to create data inside the file, or we can say how to create a data inside the existing file. So we had already created a file which is python.txt, and now I'm going to use a Python script which is file.py from desktop. Just click on file, just click on open, click on desktop, and now click on file.py. So here I'm going to use w, which is used to write the file, and now I'm going to create a string which is str, and after that I'm going to assign some string which is hello world. So here the hello world is a string which is stored inside the variable str, and now I'm going to use a function which is write, file dot write. Inside the parenthesis I'm going to use a variable which is str. So this hello world is stored inside this function write, and after the write you have to close this file using close function. And now let's run this module. So here we did not get any error, so let's move to the file which is python.txt. Just open it. So here you can see there is a string which is hello world. So this is the way to create a data in your file using Python script. And now I'm going to delete this data. Just save this and just close this. And now let's move to the Python script. And here I'm going to change something which is str input. Inside the input I just write which is enter some data. And now let's run this module. And now I'm going to write something which is I am from Python. Just click enter. And now let's go to the file which is python.txt, and here you can see there is a string which is I am from Python, which we have typed in our Python script. So this is the way to create a data using Python script. In this video we are going to learn how to append data in our existing file. So why we use append instead of write? When we use w plus, or we can say w, for writing the data, then the existing data will deleted when we create a new data. But when we use a append mode, then the new data is added after the existing data. So here we already have something in our python.txt which is I am from Python, and now I'm going to append some data using a mode which is a, and now just and just save this module and run module. And here I'm going to write something which is I'm from India. Just click enter. After that, let's move to the text file which is python.txt. And here you can see there is another data which is I am from India, which is appended after the existing data which is I am from Python. And now when we use w here, just run this module again, write something hello world, just click enter, and let's move to the file which is python.txt. So here you can see a new data is generated and the existing data will deleted. That's why we don't use w for writing some data. We always use append for writing data, because w will delete the existing data and it will create a new data. But when we use append mode, then the new data will added after the existing data. So this is the way to add some data in our file using Python script. Welcome to the Python tutorial. Today we are going to learn how to download file from internet using Python script. I just opened a Python script and now I'm going to import a library which is used to request a URL from internet. So for that I have to use import URL lib, which is URL library dot request. So this library is used to request data from the internet. And in the next line I'm going to use this library by using URL lib dot request dot URL retrieve. So this URL retrieve is a method inside this URL library, and after that put the parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis we have to put the path of your file from internet. So now let's go to the browser and search something which is train. Just click images, just take one picture from and copy this URL link which is http, and now put here. You have to put the name of your file which is train.jpg. Now let's run this module again. So here we did not get any error. We have a file in desktop because the Python script is saved on desktop. That's why the file is downloaded on desktop. So here we have a file which is train.jpg. So the file is downloaded where the Python script is saved. So this is the process to download any file from internet using Python script.